Greetings, everyone. I am David Summersong. Welcome to the Fountain of Phoenix Paste. I thought of naming this talk. I really didn't understand until recently what my service is. In order for me to speak about rejuvenation, obviously I need to know something about the subject. Unfortunately for me, my history has shown that pain and stupidity are required to reach a point of sufficient reduction to willless, depressed paste that it became necessary to use the decades of information that I had gathered to call forth the phoenix from the ashes and to find the fountain of youth. Alchemy is changing things by understanding them. The process of rejuvenation is electromagnetic in nature and requires revisiting the locations in emotional time-space where the lost will diminishment occurred. Even after decades of hands-on experience helping people understand the difficulties that they encounter with the operation of their meat machine, I have been surprised at what I have learned from extreme adversity lately in terms of my own personal physical healing. There is no question to me that life itself can be said to be the placebo effect. What you believe is certainly what you are going to get. The thing is that you do not necessarily have to know what you believe to be affected. I have certainly moaned and groaned about my state of affairs while simultaneously trying to understand on a belly level the idea of unconditional loving surrender to source energy. Within human beings, part of the blockage to true and free ecstatic feeling is fear. As a species, we have a lack of cosmic trust based on historical, common, global experience. We have every reason to have paranoia built into our nervous systems, our DNA, and our thought patterns. The stresses of ensuring survival pressed on our relations, leaving enduring imprints within we who resulted from their efforts. Humans generally continue to act out the concerns of their largely extended families and social groups without conscious awareness of their own behavior. In March 2000, I began living in seclusion as much as possible within an inner urban environment in order to have time for meditation, contemplation, and rejuvenation due to the opportunities provided by too much time spent as a crash test dummy wearing the stupid man insignia on my chest. Since then, I have made great strides in actualizing my understanding of the information that I gathered in 83 countries and 149 languages over decades. In my opinion, the book series called Right Use of Will and available at rightuseofwill.com is the truest and most comprehensive publication ever written, and I recommend it highly, even though it is arduous and extensive reading, and my life is about paraphrasing it for you. Because my history of bodily injury has been extreme, and I have retained acute memory of each event, I am able to discern the recovery of energy as I have cleansing flashbacks due to sunspots, the inflow of intentional galactic energy, and my drive and determination to experience limitless source within my conscious self. Recently, I have encountered opposition to my physical well-being, hidden in well-meaning words and empty demonstrations of concern and interest. This has caused me to profoundly examine what I was experiencing and how it felt to me. This once again validated for me one of the primary directives of the Right Use of Will book series, that is, you can only know the truth by how it feels. Because of this opposition and my lack of initial clarity on exactly what type of deception was trying to sift its way into my life, it took me about 120 days of processing to discover something new about the depth of the relationship between withheld emotion and electromagnetic static cling. Injuries that I had experienced as a child were still within me, electromagnetically producing hidden joint weakness in my ankles because of the despair and sadness that was locked into the tissue, rather than any actual current traumatic problems. Because of the low level of current allopathic understanding, most persons professionally involved with skeletal structure and its restoration are limited to the belief systems of their lineage and teachers. So many spiritual pathways have said something to the effect that you can't take your baggage with you. What this really means is that in order to recover energy that we have lost through traumatic experience or being stifled and/or ignored, we must revisit physiologically, biochemically, and emotionally the time-space coordinates of the event. This is similar to using the correct address on YouTube to encounter my talks. This brings us back to my career as a crash test dummy and your potential willingness to become outrageously alive, potent, will-filled, and beautiful. Although much of my life experience was vastly unpleasant and a direct product of my state of consciousness at the time, it has led me to a place where I am delighted and experience deep pleasure and gratitude with the expanding possibilities of my own growing self-awareness. The chance that I can share my experience with you and save you pain adds to my pleasure and encourages me that there is possibility for intelligent life, including me, to develop on Earth after all. Dictators have ruled the earth and made a giant mess. People have told you all sorts of stuff, and it has been no help whatsoever. Perhaps a giant part of healing is self-determination and willful self-respect. I know that for me, self-expression has been very helpful. I recommend highly all types of verbal movement of your history, even if you must scream without sound because of your environment. If you can remember that your subconscious believes and takes as truth what it hears you say in your voice through your ears, then you might begin to modify what you tell yourself about your life, your probabilities, and your possibilities. Personally, my personal composure and any fantasy that I have actual control over anything has been reduced to a paste of ashes smaller than an atomic nuclei. My struggle to understand unconditional loving surrender is not a philosophical one. It is brought about by the utter necessity to bring into understanding and order my eons-long evolution since the beginning of time. Experience had to be had for understanding to occur. Now that it has, it is time for things to change and for life experience to become pleasurable and delightful. I encourage everyone to delve deep within their memory patterns and consume the parasitic energy holding historical traumas as if they were short videos of an earlier you. If you can acknowledge that they are in fact just another type of electromagnetic memory pattern, it will be easy for you to make the value judgment that in spite of their unpleasantness, they helped you become the person you are at this moment, and thus were worth your pain then. Experience had to be had for understanding to occur. You can only know the truth by how it feels. So what is really the real truth for you right now and right here? It will take you some time to decide that, if it comes from real feelings, and also to more intensely follow the path to your own limitlessness and expansion. I get younger every day, the more I learn to surrender and pray. If you do what I do too, you too will learn to renew. When your heart is open wide, there is endless space inside. If you can give way without any doubt, you will hear the sound of glory's shout. Your cosmic name will be called loud and clear, as merging with the light to you draws near. Existing as a being without any bounds shows you the silence hidden between the sounds. When Creator and creation become very near, there is no longer a need or a feeling for fear. If you can see that the reflection in your eyes is one of beauty and limitless skies, then you will know that forever is hidden within each and every breath. You have found the secret for which you must constantly stretch. If you open the doorway, you can walk right through. If you do not turn the knob, it is only yourself you screw. So open up the door and welcome limitlessness into your life. You have just found happiness in exchange for your strife. Detachment is only halfway there, because you have to learn to feel, but not to care. Ideas are from your cranium, and feelings from your belly. You do your best evaluating from your largest bowl of jelly. Follow what your belly brain says, because you can feel it. You can only know the truth by how it feels, and your experiences have brought you understandings that will allow you to consider and construct the pavement of potentiality that you choose to lay on your path going forward into limitlessness. Will you roll your conceptual reality down the edge of a razor blade, or will you stroll delightfully through the flower-filled pastures, since it's all electromagnetic energy and a construct of attention and intention, and you are the director of your own experiential perception? Your movie will be what you make it. Happy directing.